Welcome to National Night Out. I'm Britt Johnson with GGTV3, and I'm here in front of the Garden Grove Police Department with Police Chief Tom DeRay. Now, Chief DeRay, what can the community expect from National Night Out?
So I think what the community is going to see is they can come out, they can meet our police officers, and actually find out who the officers are that are assigned to their area. They can also speak with our crime prevention experts and get some crime prevention techniques that will help them.
Yes.
Very important. Also, they can come out. We're going to have a lot of equipment out on display. We thought it would be just a great opportunity for the community to come here and see what the police department has and how do we use it. They're going to see some demonstrations, SWAT demonstrations. Also, they're going to see some of our close partners. They can visit with the Garden Grove Unified School District, Republic Services, and see many other city services that are here today.
So just a little bit of everything, right?
Yes.
So why is it important to have events like National Night Out for the community?
So with the Garden Grove Police Department, we are a leading law enforcement agency and nationally recognized in community policing. Events like this really help build a stronger relationship with the community. What it also does is it allows me to showcase the men and women of the police department and just such a great job that they do on a day-to-day basis keeping this community safe. It's really great that we just get to come together, be unified, and keep our community strong and just provide a safe and secure community.
I will let you get to work because I know you have a lot of stuff to do because we are about to introduce Canine Cody. So thank you so much for telling us a little bit about National Night Out. So again, we have a bunch of demonstrations that are going to be coming your way, and we have a very special guest, Canine Cody and Officer Ashba, and they are going to be explaining a little bit about what they do, and there's also going to be a demonstration later on tonight with the canine. Now, Cody, you are knocking over my table here, buddy. So how are you guys doing today?
We're good. How are you?
Trying to stay cool?
Trying
to stay cool.
Yes.
So what kind of dog is Cody? You want to tell me a little bit about him?
So Cody's a German Shepherd. He actually comes from Germany. He's a little on the larger side. He weighs about 105 pounds.
Yes, we actually originally tried to get him in your seat, but it wasn't happening.
No.
So is that a typical dog you would see for a canine dog?
Yes. Usually, especially here in Orange County, either agencies will use the Belgian Malinois or a German Shepherd for the type of work we use them with. And then you also see some bloodhounds and labs for
Is there a
detection
difference?
work.
Why is it important to use a dog like that?
Yes. I mean, they're a lot larger, and they have a higher play drive than a lot of some of the other breeds.
Now, how old is Cody?
Cody's 2. He will be 3 at the end of September.
Oh, well, happy early birthday, Cody. Now, how long have you been training with Cody?
So
Or how long was your training?
Cody's actually been trained since he was born. He was trained in Germany. He came over at about a year and a half. And then I got him. We did 5 weeks of training. It's called the Basic Canine Academy. And then I did an additional 2 weeks in the field here before I could go out on patrol with him.
Well, that is awesome. Well, we are really excited to see your guys' demonstration, which will take place at 7 p.m. tonight.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining me, and we're looking forward to watching you guys later. Thank you so much. Before I let you guys go, I am going to leave you guys with some fun facts. Our first fun fact of the night is, what year did National Night Out start? I will be answering the question a little bit later on in the show. Stay tuned, we have the high risk stop demonstration and so much more coming to you right after this.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our coverage of National Night Out. I'm Britt Johnson with GGTV3, and earlier I asked you guys a very important question. We are doing some trivia throughout the show. The question was, what year did National Night Out start? I have the answer for you guys now. National Night Out started in 1984. That was 35 years ago. It's older than me. I don't know if it's older than Sergeant Payan that is with me right now. Welcome.
No, I'm older.
So you were around maybe when you were a kid. Your parents might have taken you to something like this. Yes, we have tons of stuff actually going on today. There's face painting, there is raffles, and what we're going to be seeing next is this high-risk stop demonstration. You are going to be narrating it for us. We're getting set up right now, so it's just a few minutes till we get to it. So I actually have a trivia question for you. See if you can get this. I'm springing this on him, so let's see how good he is. Okay, so the question I have for you is, what was the Garden Grove Police Chief's monthly salary in 1957, which is the year that the police department started? What do you think that his monthly salary was, police chief?
Maybe $300.
Close. It was $700.
Wow.
So monthly salary is $700. Could you imagine that?
No.
I'm sure back then, though, you could buy a house for probably like $13,000.
Yes,
so.
in those days. Yeah, good luck now.
So it looks like we are getting ready to start with this. But first, before we get started, do you have any tips that you want to give to people that if they were ever involved in one of these high-risk stops?
If they're involved in a high-risk stop, they should pull over immediately to the right, make sure it's safe, and obviously obey all commands. Sometimes it might be a mistaken identity, vehicle, or anything like that, but that's something we can sort out at a later time.
Yes.
It's just important for the safety of the public as well as the officers that you obey the commands at that time.
Yes, for sure, because I know in the news and stuff we've just heard so many incidents that could have been prevented. If just follow the rules in the beginning, you guys definitely will get it sorted out at some point. Yes, yes.
So what we're going to be doing is, every day you see on the news, officers go in pursuit against high-risk felony suspect when they conduct a high-risk felony vehicle stop. So we'll be demonstrating the process, how we go through that, and why we do what we do.
And again, everyone, this event goes until 8 p.m., so we still have time to get out here, and we hear the sirens coming in now.
So while we're in pursuit,
we'll
give a description of the vehicle, suspect, direction to travel, what they're wanted for, and once we have sufficient units behind the vehicle, then we'll initiate a stop.
So as you can hear, the lights and siren, and they're trying to initiate a traffic stop. So as you can see, it's quite loud.
So
we're probably about 300 to 400 feet away, and you can hear it.
Quite a few cops following this person as well. You know, this reminds me of one of my favorite things to watch on the news, which is the high-speed chases. I'm sure it's not your favorite, but it's always interesting to watch those.
So as you can see, the first officer pulls behind, kind of offset, and then you have the other officers coming around.
Now, is that just a way to block them in?
It's just to take the tactical advantage for the officers. Normally we wouldn't park right behind them, so this is what we do. We spread out, so we have coverage, at least 180-degree coverage. So you'll see that one officer is going to be calling out the suspect. And you got canines usually when available, they'll come out.
And additional units like the motor unit would show up. They're here pretty fast.
So you'll see the officers trying to barricade themselves between the engine block and the door, just in case these suspects have weapons. Because you see the officers gave them commands, however the suspects unwilling to obey the commands at this time.
So we have several options. We can utilize
now, would
gas,
an officer in this situation
distraction device,
if
pepper balls.
Depends.
The windows open.
Some cars are stolen cars and they don't have keys, so the car runs. So they'll try to talk to them, get a little dialogue going with the suspect, but eventually we're going to have to get them out no matter what. So even if the car's on.
So we have specific directions that we give the suspects to know that they're listening and complying, and for our safety. Right now, he's not showing his hands that he has. He's going to want to see his hands.
So at this time,
before he gives another
the
command.
suspect, we don't know if he's armed. We don't know how many people are inside at this time because of the tinted windows.
Put your hands outside the window.
So we usually tell them to roll down the windows and put their hands outside so we can see their hands.
Do it now.
And then we'll get the canine close by as a kind of a ruse or trying to get them out that says, hey, the dog's close by, he's going to bite you if you don't obey the commands.
Now, hands in the air.
Here we go. Okay. Only one hand.
One hand. So this time, one hand, we don't know if the other hand has a weapon or not, so we always want to tell them to keep their hands low, high where we can see them, and open, and make sure not to reach for anything really quickly.
Whoever exits the vehicle, the canine will be sent. Facing away from us.
And we asked the suspect to face away from the officers, again, to have the tactical advantage on the suspect.
Keep coming.
So we're calling them out. We never want to go up to the car when we're talking to the suspect because there could be potential other suspects inside the vehicle, including the trunk.
So we don't know if there's additional suspects in the vehicle. So we have a team still on the car and another team
So
on the
as
suspect.
one officer's calling out, these other officers are focused on the vehicle because there could be other potential suspects. And then there's a couple of officers looking at the suspect and ready to take him into custody.
Suspect ahead near. Walk back slowly.
So give him some more commands. They'll walk him close to the vehicles in between the two vehicles. Because obviously the officers don't want to expose themselves as a
Other
fire
passengers
threat.
in the vehicle, we know you're inside.
And again, I see the guys on this side are still making sure they're watching the car.
Yeah, all their job is just to watch the car. The other officers are engaged with the suspect. So even if there's a fight, these other officers are continuing to watch the vehicle just in case there's other
Still
potential
maintaining control
suspects.
of the scene. It's still not.
Okay.
We consider
They
code
kneel
four,
the
still not
suspect
safe
down
yet.
to make sure that he doesn't try to fight and there's not a little incident in that area. So they'll kneel him down, check for weapons quickly, and then put him back in the back of a police car. And usually an officer will stand by with them while they continue the search.
So up until this point, anybody in that car right now is a suspect until we can confirm if they're victims or they're kidnapped or whatever.
So yeah, so at this point, we got to confirm that these other people in the car they could be very well be victims or kidnapped victims or anything like that, or just innocent people,
team,
bystanders.
contact team will
But
come
however,
up.
at that time, because we don't know who they are,
Everything's
we're
safe.
going to kind of treat them like suspects until we find out what's going on. So even if, let's say you're in a car with
Check the
somebody that's
car, verify
wanted,
the trunk is still
even though you
safe.
did nothing wrong, you can still be detained until we sort out what's going on. Doesn't mean you're going to go to jail.
Right, okay.
Okay, the trunk's secure.
Code 4.
And they put a code 4. Code 4 means it's the scene
So
secure.
this is an ideal
Wow, that was
scenario
intense.
for us. This goes around the country thousands of times a day. Thousands of times a day, cops are put in a position and make quick second decisions when dealing with felony wanted suspects. It's a very, when you watch the news, they consider it a routine stop. Nothing's ever routine in this business. You don't know what we're going to get into. So you could be with your partner having lunch and dinner, and in less than 5 minutes, you're in a high-risk stop with your life in jeopardy. So basically, when you watch the news tonight, there'll be a pursuit tonight, I guarantee it. You have an idea what we're doing.
California's known for
Sweet.
that, yes.
That was great. Thank you so much. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. That was amazing to watch. Now I am with Officer Bustillos.
How are you?
I am great. I'm kind of a little shaken up by that. That was intense. I've never seen one up close before. I've seen tons of them on the news. Everyone loves the high-speed chases, but never one this close, even though this was
It's
not
different
real.
when you're there, huh?
Yeah.
Try
yeah.
being on the R end.
I could not imagine. I could not imagine.
Everything's very quick.
Yes. So I am going to be talking to you about ART. Can you tell me
Yes.
what it is?
The ART team is the Accident Reduction Team campaign. It was started in 2016 due to an increase in traffic accidents in the city. We went from having 700 and so traffic accidents to over 2,000. So we realized there was a problem. So it's a campaign that we put together with City Hall employees as well as our police department employees and the neighborhood traffic unit to put the word out there for drivers to be safer, watch for pedestrians, watch for bicyclists, watch for children. And we do campaigns, events such as this. We have a booth with handouts, things to make people safer on the roadway.
Now, you were talking about the increase in the number. Has traffic collision and fatalities decreased since this program started?
Yes, so we went from having 10. This year we currently have 1.
Oh, that's great.
So we're working hard to make sure that we reduce fatalities, hopefully to 0. We want
Yes.
0 fatalities.
Now, why do you think there was an increase in traffic collisions and fatalities in Garden Grove for a point in time?
Biggest thing, technology. People got to see their phones right away.
yeah.
People got to touch their phones. People got to look at it. People need to know what's going on now. My biggest advice, leave the phone on the mount. Get a mount, some kind of mount for your car, and leave it on there and don't touch it. All you can do is a point or a swipe. That's all you can do.
So no Snapchatting.
I have actually caught people Snapchatting where they've actually caught me looking at them and
Yeah.
they freak out. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. It's interesting because I know things with ride shares like Uber and Lyft and stuff like now I feel like I hear a lot of like drunk driving stuff go down, but because people are with the technology, we're still seeing fatalities and
There's
incidences
still-
because of of people being on their phones.
Yeah, there's still a large number of DUI related collisions and stops. It's not just alcohol, it's drugs, illicit drugs or prescription drugs. It could be a number of things. If you're going to drink, that's your right, but use Uber, Lyft,
yes.
Call a friend, cab. There's so many ways to get home without driving.
And stay off your phone.
Exactly.
Got it. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
That was great advice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we have CSO Bacoris with me. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
So we are just going to get right into this because this event is moving along. Tons of families are out here having a good time. You actually work with tons of different programs. You guys are a part of a bunch of different things. One of them is Child Passenger Safety Program. Now, what is the Child Safety Seat Technicians? What do they do?
Our car seat technicians, this is a 40-hour class we had to attend. Our department happens to have English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Korean technicians. And what we do is we assist families with children in their boosters or car seats. Most kids stay in a seat. They say the law is 8 years old, but we feel that best practice is kids stay in the back seat in some type of restraint until 10 to 12 years old.
Oh, wow, that's
Seatbelts aren't made for kids. They're made for adults.
And why are car seat inspections important to get done, besides the obvious reasons?
There's so many different car seats out there. There's so many cars, children different shapes and sizes. So we just want to make sure that the right seat, the right child in the right car each and every time. So the safest car seat on the road is the one you use correctly 100% of the time.
Perfect. And what is the difference between the law and the best practices? Because I know you were saying the law is about 8 years old, but you guys suggest 10 to 12, or what's the...
Right. So there's a letter of the law and the spirit of the law. The law says a child has to be 4'9", 8 years of age, and has to pass a 5-step test. But best practices, the longer you leave that child in the rear seat, properly restrained in a car seat or a booster, that child is so much safer. Once we take them out of a restraint device, now that seatbelt is the only means of restraint, it's only 3 points of contact. With a seat that has a harness in it, that's 6 points of contact. It's double the contact, double the protection.
Thank you so much. That was great, valuable information, especially around here. We're seeing tons of families at this event, so this is a perfect opportunity for them to hear stuff like that. So thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you for asking.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Now, our fun fact is how many communities are now participating in National Night Out? So again, I will have that answer when we come back. We have the K9 demonstration coming to you next. I'm Britt Johnson with GGTV3, and we'll be right back.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our coverage of National Night Out. We are here with our final demonstration, which is the K9 demonstration, but before we get to that, we have to answer the final question of our fun facts. The question was, how many communities are now participating in National Night Out? The answer to that is 16,000. So on this very day, there are 16,000 communities across the country that are participating in National Night Out. And here we go with the demonstration.
Turn off the vehicle. Put your hands outside the window. Do it now. Suspect, turn off the vehicle and put your hands outside the window.
Quiet.
Do it now. Suspect, put your hands outside the window. Open the door from the outside. Your hands in the air. Get on the ground.
And there goes Cody. And now we will be hearing the presentation from the officer.
So real quick, I'm Officer Ashbaugh for the Garden Grove Police Department. That was my partner, Cody, you just met. A little bit about him. Cody's a 2-year-old German Shepherd. He weighs 105 pounds. He's a big boy. He is from Germany, so all the commands I give him are all in German. Contrary to popular belief, that's not because we think bad guys can tell him to stop. It's just because he's from Germany. So I have to speak to him in German. He didn't want to learn English for me. The Garden Grove K-9 unit, we actually started in 1970. We were the first police department in Orange County to have a K-9 unit. I believe through the 90s we had 4 dogs. We're currently at 2. My other partner, Corporal Valencia, is not here, but he has a dog, Vader. He's the all-black dog, if any of you have met Vader. I've been doing this for about a year now. I'll say it's the best assignment in the department. So real quick, I'm going to pull my dog out. We'll do a little obedience out here. It's not going to be for long just because the ground's hot and my dog doesn't like hot ground. I'll take maybe a handful of questions if people have any. A little more about my dog. He's apprehension trained, and then early next year we are going to narcotics detection. My dog will be able to search for drugs. Our other dog, PSD Vader, he's apprehension trained, and then he can search for guns and ammunition. A lot of times bad guys, when they run from us, they throw out guns. That dog can find them, and he's very good at it. My dog is a working dog. He's highly trained, but he lives with me. He goes home with me every day. He lives in my backyard. I feed him, I bathe him. Oh yeah, the neighbors see him. Yes. He's about 20 miles per hour. He can run about 20 miles per hour. He was 85 pounds when I got him. It was a little before he was 2. He's now 105 pounds. No. Yes, so he has that little vest harness that he wears. In more dangerous situations, he has a bulletproof vest that he can wear. Very strong. Strong enough that that suit that guy was wearing, another dog bit through that suit when I was wearing it and got into my arm. It's a very strong bite. All right. Yes. So real quick, something about our dogs. When we buy them, we buy dogs with a very high play drive. If the dog is mean, if he growls at people, we don't want that dog. That's a bad police dog. We want a dog that likes games and likes to play. So for my dog, this is his toy. Everything we do is a game. If we're at training, if we're at searching, this is all a game to him. And he knows that if I tell him to do something and he does it, he gets his toy at the end of it. And that's all he wants. So all of our dogs are very friendly. You know, our explorers pet him. After briefing, I let him out in the back lot. He runs around, plays with the officers. All of our dogs are very friendly. They just do what they need to do when we tell them to, because he knows he gets his toy. Hey. Cody. Foos. 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 He's very excited right now. So, like I said, very highly trained. He actually came from a trainer in Germany who's very well known for obedience. So he is probably one of the better dogs at obedience. And then you can see his size. He's probably one of the biggest dogs in Orange County right now. A lot of departments use the smaller Belgian Malinois. Some departments use the Shepherds. We like the Shepherds. They listen a little more than the Mals. Foos. 105. Sits. Sits. Toy. Toy. So, everything he wants to do in life is this toy. He will. When I first got him and he was 85 pounds, I could pick him up, and now not so much anymore. Hey. Regular dog food. Yeah, he will never let go. We can literally do circles all day long. Oh, you good boy. Vaughan. Any last question? Yes. The city lets me buy the dog if he retires. He's a great swimmer. Yes. Depends on them and their health. We usually like them to work till about 8 years old. But it varies. Some dogs will work till they're 10 or 11. Some develop issues and they're out at 6. So, but we like 8. You're welcome.
Well, that was another great demonstration brought to you by the Garden Grove Police Department. I am now here with SRT Officer Mears. Now, what is the purpose of SRT in comparison to other units in the Garden Grove Police Department?
So about 2.5 years ago, the PD started to notice a drastic increase in the amount of homeless calls for service that we were getting. And one of the things we kind of started paying attention to is that some of the issues we were running into weren't something that could simply just be addressed on a short-term or quick fix basis. It required a lot more time, a lot more effort, a lot more resources. So 2.5 years ago, they implemented the special resource team with the hopes of interacting with a lot of the county outreach programs, a lot of the shelters, a lot of the drug treatment facilities and so forth that could serve kind of a more permanent solution to a lot of the homeless issues that the city was having.
Okay, and does the community continue, or why, should I say, does the community continue to see an increase in the number of homeless people in the area, and why are certain presences not being really addressed? I know those are big questions we've gotten.
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's a lot of legislations and a lot of things that are taking place in the state of California that make this place a very enticing environment for homeless.
The weather, for one.
The weather here is beautiful in comparison to a lot of the snow-riddled areas of the north, or definitely like the east. But the other thing that a lot of people don't know about is there's a lot more resources for them available to them here, i.e. housing, SSI, all sorts of funding that helps make life a little more comfortable here. Now, one of the biggest things that we deal with is why aren't we doing more? And I think what people need to understand is there's only so much we could do as a public entity when it comes to taking any type of enforcement actions. Enforcement may not always be the case, but unfortunately, because people are protected by the Fourth Amendment, we understand that if they're not, willing to speak with us, we can't force them to speak with us.
So, for the community, I know people do have a lot of questions about this. What efforts are being taken that you guys can do or implement to help with this problem?
So as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that we're really trying to do is we're really trying to emphasize the importance of outreach, that partnership between social workers and law enforcement, because they need to understand that enforcement nowadays, especially with a lot of the assembly bills and the propositions that took place in previous years, enforcement is only a temporary fix. I could arrest someone for a misdemeanor offense, and the reality of it is that's just a 6-hour timeout. Me getting someone to buy into a drug treatment program, into housing, into job training, or some other type of outreach is a more permanent solution that not only alleviates the police department, the city from dealing with that person on a negative basis, but the more important factor is it gives that person an opportunity to get back on their feet and to live a life that I'm sure they're much more willing to live.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure the community is really appreciative of you guys answering these questions, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, like I said, we'll be out here till 8 o'clock. They're all finished with the demonstrations, but we still have a lot of booths that people can go up to, different community development departments that people can speak with, other officers, and get some information. And we actually have very important part of this show. You guys saw a lot of the demonstrations going on, and if you would like to be a part of the Garden Grove Police Department, this is the person that's going to give you information on that, Corporal Starnes. Now, I have a few questions that I'm going to ask you, and hopefully this answers a lot of the questions that the public may have.
Okay.
So how many personnel is GGPD looking to hire in the future?
So right now, Garden Grove Police Department, we're at 182 personnel that we can hire for. We're looking to hire approximately 15 to 18 new officers.
Oh, wow.
And we're also looking to hire additional support staff, which include our dispatchers and records specialists, as well as cadets and other parts of the department.
Now, I know a lot of people are watching and they're probably interested in what type of person are you interested in hiring for either Garden Grove Police Department or even just a civilian worker for the department?
We're looking to hire really outgoing, energetic individuals, come from a different backgrounds of ethnicity, race, sex, religion. We're looking to hire anybody that's wanting to come to the Garden Grove Police Department and join the family.
Great. And what type of advice would you give a person who is interested in joining GGPD in the future?
Joining Garden Grove Police Department, as well as any other agency, is your background. We do a lot of background checks on individuals, and so it really depends on what you did as a younger individual or younger adult, and social media a lot plays a humongous part as to what qualifies a person to become a police officer and or part of our civilian staff.
Now, do you guys have an age group where you have to be at least this young, or you can only be this age to join the police department, just for somebody interested? Because I know you said their history kind of depends on it, but can somebody come right out of high school and try to join?
So, good question. Police officers, you got to be 20 and a half years old to apply as a police officer in the state of California, and you got to be 21 years old at the age of graduation from the police academy. If you're younger than 20 and a half and you're in high school or college, we have a cadet program, which other agencies have as well, and that gets their foot in the door and understanding what law enforcement's all about and which way they can choose their career path.
If anybody wants any more information, is there a website, or can they come here and kind of check it out? Where do they need to look for that?
Yes, they can always come to the front desk and get a flyer, or they can log on to ggcity.org/HR.
Thank you so much. Well, it was great. This whole event was great. I'm sure it excited people about either joining the police force or just getting, that community and police involvement together. It was a great event. So thank you guys for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to National Night Out. I'm Britt Johnson with GGTV3, and we'll see you guys next time.